The Bear Original Mattress. You've seen the ads. Supposedly built for athletic performance, recovery, and pressure relief. But does this mattress live up to the hype? Well, that's exactly what we're gonna find out in today's review of the Bear Original Mattress. We're gonna be reviewing this mattress across 5 distinct categories, with those categories being comfort, motion isolation, edge support, temperature regulation, and finally, value of the bed. At the end of this video, we'll aggregate those scores together and we'll let you know if this is a mattress that is worth your hard-earned money or better off left in this review. By the way, if you are new here, my name is Ethan and this is Sleepline. We give honest, unbiased, and critical reviews of all mattresses so that way you get an honest and transparent look into what mattresses are good and what mattresses are garbage. To that end, I do want to notate that our grading scale is a bit different than what you may find in other review channels. We're not going to give hardly any mattresses a 9 out of 10. In fact, our average mattress score comes in at about a 7 out of 10 or 35 out of 50. And that is because we want you to know exactly what a mattress does well and exactly what it doesn't without telling you, oh, this mattress is amazing in every category. Because we're not a sales channel. We're a review channel. So with that out of the way, let's dive into the first category, which is comfort. The Bear Original is an all foam mattress with a firm and dense feel that you're going to sleep more on top of rather than in. If you're expecting to have that slow, sinky memory foam feel, you're not really gonna find it here. This bed is just too firm for that overall. When you're looking for a mattress, there are really 2 components that matter more than anything else. That's pressure relief, because if you have too much pressure generating, because if you don't have enough pressure relief, the mattress is going to build up pressure on your shoulders, your hips, and you're gonna wake up not feeling the greatest. And then there's support, which is a balancing game, right? The idea behind support is we want your spine to be in a neutral position as you sleep. If a mattress does not have enough support, you're gonna hammock in the bed. And if it has too much support, your hips are actually gonna be pushed up and your spine's gonna kind of like do one of these. That's why the floor, which is the most supportive thing you can sleep on, is not comfortable. Well, also because the floor doesn't offer any pressure relief. But those are the things that we're looking for when we're talking about comfort in a mattress. Back sleepers will find that this mattress definitely provides enough support. And for most back sleepers, it's going to provide enough pressure relief as well. But keep in mind, this is a firm mattress. If your bed at home is a soft mattress and you're a back sleeper, you're probably not going to translate over to this too happily. Now, stomach sleepers are the most susceptible to improper spinal alignment, so support is super, super important for them. The reason that stomach sleepers struggle the most with spinal alignment is because when your spine is out of line and you're facing flat face first into a bed, it's not hard to understand why. You can test this yourself right now. If you stand up and you shift your weight to the right like this, you're not going to feel too much. That simulates a side sleeper in a mattress getting improper alignment. If you push your hips back, you're still not going to feel that bad. If you push your hips forward, feel all that pressure coming right onto your lumbar. That's because when your hips go forward, you're going against the natural curvature of your spine, and all of that pressure isolates right onto your lower back, which is why stomach sleepers have the hardest time finding a mattress that works for them. Good news here, this bed will work for the majority of stomach sleepers. So in terms of comfort overall, with all of that in mind, and given that this mattress just caters to a specific group of sleepers, we give it a 6.5 out of 10. And that takes us to edge support. So the edge support in this mattress feels a little bit more like a slow motion sinking boat rather than your typical mattress. And that's actually a bit surprising because most all foam mattresses do a really, really poor job in terms of edge support. This bed here is not absolutely atrocious, but the longer you sit on the edge, the more that foam collapses and the more you want to fall off of it. Now, given the firmness of this mattress, most people are not going to have an issue at all sleeping right up to the edge. The issue comes in when you sit on your bed. So if you sit in the bed on your bed, put your socks on, put your pants on, whatever, you're gonna notice that you're kind of on a timer here. Now, larger sleepers will find that the edge support just begins to crumple much faster and much more here for them, and they actually won't be able to sleep right up to the edge of this mattress. You'll have to scoot in about maybe an inch or 2. That doesn't sound like much, but if you're in this mattress with a partner, you'll both have to scoot in 2 inches, which takes away from the effective sleep surface of your bed, meaning you're going to feel each other's movement more. You're going to be sharing your body heat a little bit more. You're probably gonna be closer. So if your partner breathes heavy at night, well, congratulations. And overall, it just has a negative impact on the experience. Now, like we said though, most sleepers are not going to find a massive issue with this. You can see here, I'm sitting on this mattress and it's doing a pretty good job. I was actually surprised. The Bear is doing a better job than what I expected from an all foam mattress, but that's because most all foam mattresses are just not good in this category at all. If you are someone who likes to sit on the edge of their bed, you might want to put a chair nearby, which is why the Bare Original gets a 6 out of 10 in terms of edge support. Next up is temperature regulation. So all foam mattresses are notorious for sleeping very, very hot. And that's because there's no coil system, which means the breathability in this bed is basically reduced down to nothing. To combat this, Bare is using a gel-infused layer of memory foam on the top of this mattress, but let's be honest, this is still an all foam mattress, and that gel-infused foam can't do the job itself. You don't get a cooling cover here. There are no airflow channels, and if you sleep hot, there's really no escape. If you run hot, this bed might become your personal memory foam sauna. Great for recovery if you're cryogenically frozen. And that means most sleepers are going to find that this mattress, even if they hadn't had issues sleeping hot before, is going to be something that they sleep pretty warm in. The one saving grace is the firmness of this mattress. Like we talked about, this is a bed that you sleep more on top of rather than in. And what that means in terms of temperature regulation is your body is in less surface contact with this mattress. And because of that, heat buildup is reduced. If this was a soft mattress, this thing would be like a 2 out of 10 in terms of temperature regulation. But because you do sleep on top of it, not all hope is lost. Still though, in terms of temperature regulation, the Bare Original gets a 5 out of 10. And that takes us to motion isolation. So every technology has pros and cons. And one of the biggest pros for memory foam mattresses is they are incredibly good at isolating motion in the bed. What I mean here is like your partner could do the worm at 2 a.m. while you're asleep, and odds are you're not gonna notice it. This mattress has no coils in it, which means it just absorbs all of your motion. You can see here, I have the bowling ball on, I'm getting in, getting out of the bed, and there's pretty much no movement at all. This bed is an absolute standout, which is a great thing for partners who sleep in the mattress and one gets up earlier than the other, or one just gets up a lot to go to the bathroom. If motion isolation has been a problem for you in the past, this mattress will make sure that you never have to worry about it again. Well, until you have to buy a new mattress, that is. Motion isolation gets a 9.5 out of 10 here. On paper, the Bare Original is a really sweet deal. At the time of this review, this mattress can be had in a queen size here in the States for under $600, which is really affordable for a mattress that gives you a limited lifetime warranty and a free comfort trial. Now, I do want to talk about that limited lifetime warranty though. So pretty much all mattress companies now are offering longer and longer warranties. And in Bare's case, it is a limited lifetime warranty. That's going to cover any indentations of 1.5 inches or greater, which, by the way, that almost never happens in a bed, no matter how worn it gets. And this limited lifetime warranty begins to prorate after 10 years, which basically turns it into a standard 10-year warranty with some benefits. So for instance, after 21 years, the warranty only covers 25% of the replacement cost if you're even approved for it at that point. And with all the tape, odds are you won't be. And that's not a knock on Bare. That's just kind of unfortunately how this industry operates in general. Now, talking about normal wear and tear on this bed, we expect that you'll get about 3 or 4 years of useful comfort life in this mattress. Now, I know what you're thinking. You've probably seen other reviews, or maybe you've been in a mattress store and you've heard figures from a lot of mattresses like, hey, this bed will last you 10, 15, 20 years. The reality is most mattresses don't last anywhere near what the salesperson or where the website wants you to believe. A mattress is the most used piece of furniture in your home. And like anything else, it wears down over time, especially if you're not putting on a waterproof mattress cover. If you're not doing that, you're gonna get like 1 year out of this bed, because the gross truth is we sweat a lot at night. On average, we sweat about 6.8 ounces every single night. A cup of coffee here almost. Well, that's a giant cup. That's like a 16-ounce cup, so less than half of that, I guess, but it was the closest thing I had. So that's a lot though, right? And yeah, the majority gets absorbed by your sheets, your comforter, all that, which is even more gross. Wash your sheets, people. But whatever makes it into the mattress, sweat is pretty acidic and it breaks down foam super, super fast. So if you are not protecting your mattress, any figure that we ever give on this channel is drastically reduced. Now, 3 to 4 years in this price point is actually pretty much within expectations and is doing a good job for what you're getting here, provided that you are looking for a firm all foam mattress with good motion isolation. There are beds out on the market at this price that you can find that will last you longer, specifically mattresses that are using coil systems versus all foam. Now, there are other trade-offs there. Usually those beds are less comfortable. They generate a lot more pressure on your body. And the trade-off is longevity for comfort, which is a personal decision that you're going to have to make. In our experience, this bed does last right about where I would have expected it to just given the price point. Now, of course, your mileage may vary. Some people will replace their mattresses sooner. Some people will sleep on their mattresses way longer. It all just depends on what you as an individual prefer and what your situation is. Now, in terms of the construction quality overall, I will say this bed came in, there were no shifts in the layers. The stitching was really good. And overall, I'm pretty impressed when I look at this mattress. For an all foam bed coming in under $600, you will be hard pressed to find something that does this good of a job. Although, if you can stretch your budget even up to $800, we really recommend that you do, because you're going to get a lot more features, better pressure relief, and you'll be able to find a mattress that accommodates a wider range of sleepers. If you are a side sleeper or a smaller back sleeper, that is definitely something that I recommend doing. I will say, in my experience, the absolute sweet spot for most mattresses is right around $1,000, is where you get mattresses that have really great comfort, great feel, great support, great durability. But I understand that everyone's situation is different. And I will say that this is like probably one of the best guest room mattresses that you could buy. If you have an Airbnb or something like that, highly recommend this bed for it as well, because you typically want to go with a firmer bed. Anyway, in terms of value and durability, we give this an 8 out of 10. And that brings us to the overall score for the Bear Original mattress. And this bed comes in at a 34.5 out of 50, which is a solid C. The Bear Original is a firm motion isolating mattress that delivers for a very specific sleeper. If you sleep on your back, don't run hot, and don't want to spend very much money, this mattress is probably your ticket. But for most sleepers, this mattress just doesn't do quite enough. It's too firm for side sleepers, too hot for warm sleepers, and not durable enough for what most people are looking for in a mattress. It's decent, but for a little bit more, you could land on something great. Anyways, I hope that you got some good information here. If you liked this content, please go ahead, like and subscribe below. It really does mean a lot. We're trying to be the most honest, transparent mattress review channel here on YouTube, and hearing from the community, seeing what you guys think, and getting that feedback really just inspires me to keep going and providing this kind of content for you guys. So please, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. It would really mean the world to me. And also, if you are looking for a mattress and this one doesn't hit the bill for you, comment below. I'll be happy to respond and help you figure out what works for you and your situation. Anyway, my name is Ethan. Thank you for watching this review, and we'll see you in the next video.